Hi there, welcome to Operance, probably the easiest building information management platform your team will ever use. Today I'm just going to give you a really quick whistle-stop tour of our digital O&M product. I'd like to start here by looking at the 4 steps of how we pull in O&Ms together. Firstly, we define the client information requirements. Without understanding what your end users need, how do you know what information to pull together? And we also define the exact requirements in terms of the format, the when, the where, and the how information should be pulled together. And then we have Curate, where all that information is pulled together by the supply chain. What we do is we help automate as much of that information curation as we possibly can in order to reduce the costs. And then we have access, where your end users can access all that information in the occupation stage before they can then maintain not just the information you've provided to keep it up to date, but also the facilities that they operate. So going straight into it, this is Curate, and this is where we find the projects board. Here you'll see projects spread across the 4 phases: concept, design, construction, and occupation. But before we make a start on adding projects, we've got to go back a step. Let's say it's your first time using the Operance system, and we therefore need to develop your data templates for your particular client. So we go to Define. Within Define, we have here our data template library, and we have thousands upon thousands of different templates for different things. Everything from a boiler to the building as a whole, to the building user guides, building logbooks, you name it, there's a template for pretty much anything. Well, what we do is we develop a whole set of these for your client based on what we think is right for them. We then edit them, and then we lock it down so they've got their own organizational data templates. But we can also start from scratch as well. So we can develop these data templates based on any particular need. So let's say, for instance, your client wants a fire safety manual and you can't find one that suits within the data library. Well, we can start that and we can do that from scratch. So for instance, this is for a space. So a space within a building. That space could be a reception area, for instance. What we're saying is within every space, within every building, this is the type of information we need so that we make sure we get uniform information. Let's say it's architectural data. Within architectural data, we need to see ceiling finishes, floor finishes, etc. We can keep adding that as we go along, editing it, we can delete them, etc. But then we add these tags to say what that information is relating to. And then we can automatically populate the documents where these need to go. Okay, so that's the data templates. Now, if we go back to the projects, we can add a project through different ways. We can add it manually should we want to. And if we put in the client name, we may then have some templates that are already set up that other contractors have used, for instance, and added their templates. We can therefore use those templates because they're not the client templates, so that you don't have to. You can then add the project. Or we can do it by adding a BIM model or a Kirby data spreadsheet. In doing that, we can upload the model or the sheet in order to then structure all the information and create a project from scratch without having to add the floors, the spaces, etc. It does it instantly. It doesn't really matter either way, but you can add the projects from there. We also have what's called a golden thread activity log. This is where we record everything that's happening on your projects all the time. So you can go back and see what information was provided and when, and lots more. Now, if we go into a project and we click on data, we can start seeing where those data templates are used. So a data template for the facility as a whole has been used here. And this is now where the information is provided by your supply chain. And that could be the designers, suppliers, manufacturers, consultants, whoever. So for this building, for instance, let's say statutory approvals. Now, for every building that this client owns and that you're working on, you're asking for the standard same information across every one. And it's the same with all the floors within that building. So let's say as a standard, you want to see elevations, floor finishes, general arrangements, etc., all within architectural drawings. You can add more should you want to, but again, we provide a basic data template for you to start with. Same with spaces, you go in and you add information about all the spaces, but then the component types. And this is where the supply chain really gets involved. So let's say we need to assign this information to the supplier of internal fire doors. We could do that from here. We assign that company and they get an automated email to say, this is the information you need to provide for this project. And this is the only thing they see. They don't see anything else in the platform, just simply the boxes they need to fill in. It's then therefore the same with the systems, such as heating, cooling, refrigeration, etc. You go in and you provide the information. And we can see the difference now is we're providing information that is digital data. We're not relying on paper or PDFs. Now, the benefits of that is obviously reduced cost, and it's a much better way of helping the planet, for instance, by not chopping down thousands of trees. But obviously, we could do a lot of automations with the use of digital information as well. So, for instance, we can see there's a date of installation for this system. Well, that will tie in with a warranty period, for instance. If someone said there's a 10-year warranty period, then that will create an alert or notification to say when that's about to run out for the end users when needed. So information is pulled together by the supply chain, but also we're pulling information together in new ways. So it's currently in test, but we're using AI, for instance, in order to populate information about certain products. So let's say, for instance, we could do it longhand and we can provide information this way, or we can simply just drop information into these boxes. We could do that manually, that's not a problem. Or we can upload a data set, as in a completed template that's already been done by somebody else. We can still add in PDFs and we can still view them through the browser should we want to. But ideally, what we want to do is not have to provide all this information. We simply want to somehow extract the information about the model name. Now that again could come up from the BIM model upload or the copy data sheets, or you could simply add in that model name and then it will go and find the information that is required. As I say, that's still very much in test, but it's a really exciting new feature that we're currently working on. So all that information populates into these boxes. And again, because the tags in the define data templates assess the information and tell you what it's relevant to, then that automatically populates the manuals that it's associated with. So manuals, for instance, include O&Ms, health and safety file, building logbook, and more. So now what we do is we can access the information as it's coming through. So if we type in boiler, these are the two different types of boilers on that particular project. We then open the boiler up and then we can see the information about that boiler as per our data templates at the very beginning. We go in and then we can see the information coming through. We can see there's still awaiting information there, and that's fine. So as a contract, I can go in and check and get my reports based on what information is still outstanding, or even the client, they could be allowed access to come in and view the information as it's coming through so they can get a better understanding of that building prior to handover. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Our digital O&Ms, you define, you create, access and maintain operations and maintenance information to make your building safer and more harmonious for everyone. If you've got any questions, do feel free to contact us and we'll be able to tell you some more. Take care. Bye now.